So just assess yourself. I mean, you're what, 5 practices into fall camp, second season here in Ole Miss. How do you think you're doing?
Coming back from an injury, I feel like I came back stronger and more mentally tough. Really just understanding the scheme and all the jobs that I got to go through.
So you guys tap this sign before you walk onto the practice field every day. Can you just talk about what that means and what it is?
The sign, lock in, I feel like, Coach always talk about it. When we hit the sign, it's just a sign to, like, leave everything before you step on the field. Give everything, when you step on the field, give everything 100% and don't leave, you feel me? Leave no regret.
Around this group of linebackers that you're around and just the defensive side of the ball, how have you seen just that competition just across the board?
The competition across the board is football. I mean, I expect competition. It is what it is. We try to compete every day just to make each other better, but, we all look for reps and work. So.
Austin, just where are you health-wise right now? Or are you 100%? And I guess when did you kind of start to feel like yourself again?
Just taking day by day. I do feel like I am 100%, but, it's down God's road, whichever way he wanted me to feel or however you want me to feel, just taking it day by day.
How did you kind of approach the spring? What were you doing, working on, or just kind of spending those weeks?
My approach to the spring was like, it's going on my third year, so why not now, So I feel like I'm looked at as a leader now. I'm pretty much a vet, so, I got to come in stronger and harder and work every day.
If I remember right, you were starting to get more and more reps pre-injury last year. Just kind of where was your season heading? What were you kind of learning from that exposure?
From my first start at Bama, before the Bama week, Coach Hustle was talking, and we had just had a little talk and talking about it was really just time to lock in. So I practiced hard, and I finally got my first start at Bama, played good, and I just kept on that same track. So I really didn't want to break course of that.
You talked about kind of stepping up as a leader. Obviously, Chance and Mark and Lakia and some of those guys are gone. Other than you, who's kind of been the voices in the linebacker room?
Praise to those guys. I do feel like I learned a lot from Chance and Mark, mentally and physically. So, just hope to work off them.
So, I mean, how many of you guys do you think are in that room that can be counted on, that you're not afraid to put in the game?
I feel like the whole part of the defense is, we come together as one every day. We sit in this room, we go over everything we need to do, walk everything we need to do. So I feel like I can trust every part of the room.
So does it put a chip on y'all's shoulder in terms of, we're out here writing about, is there a weakness on this football team? Maybe it's a depth at linebacker and all that. Does that put a chip on y'all's shoulder to read that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, who wouldn't want a chip on their shoulder saying, there is no good person at linebacker or wherever it is. It really don't matter wherever it is. But the defense just plays as one. We come together and we get the job done. So,
kind of branching off of talking about leaders on this defense and all that. From your vantage point, has there been kind of any pleasant surprises from some of the young guys on the defensive side of the ball that have stood out just through 5 days?
Not gonna lie, the cornerbacks been real interesting. David Iggy-Benosa, and I forgot his other name. I don't think they're a freshman, but David Iggy-Benosa has really stepped out to me as a freshman cornerback.
What is he doing well? What's kind of making him stand out?
He came in, he already looked like a vet, and then from like the offensive side, Sean Jenkins, he stepped up. He came in like it was a vet mindset, and the way he practiced, the way he carried himself.
How long did it take you guys to learn the names of all the new transfers? When you got like 40 new teammates, how tough is that?
It didn't really take long, Here at Ole Miss, it's kind of like a family. It's just family tied. So, anything we do, whatever we do, it's all together. So we force each other to learn everybody.
Malik Heath was in here the other day talking about he transferred from Mississippi State. He was around a lot of Mississippi kids that, despite him going to the rival school, they're still tight, they're still close. You being from seminary, just kind of what is that, that bond, that brotherhood like from people who have, played in the state of Mississippi, around the state of Mississippi, no matter where they go?
I feel like, when I was taking visits at Ole Miss and I took my first visit, like the first visit was like a family community. I feel like Mississippi, I heard other people come in and say like Mississippi is kind of like a family community. Everything's all love. So we try to keep that up.
Hey, Austin, it just looked like things were getting a little more chippier out there today. A couple of fights breaking out, things like that. I mean, talk about that and where you are at this stage of fall camp and how that's probably to be expected.
You know, like I said, we're a team, so we try to, try to take up for one another. That's expected. So, say somebody does go down, the lineman might get tussling. It is what it is. We just continue to play on the next play.
With Troy Brown just kind of coming in, how have you seen him just adjust to being in Oxford and just being at the position in a different place?
Can you say that again?
Just with Troy Brown coming in, how have you seen him kind of adjust to not just being in Oxford, but just being around a new coaching staff and a new scheme?
Troy coming in, he caught on real fast. I ain't expect, like a linebacker to expect, like to catch on to our scheme or something like that, that fast. But I'm really proud of Troy, what he's done.
And I guess one more thing. I mean, Chris Parchers was in here the other day talking about, with linebackers kind of presumably kind of being that question mark compared to some other position groups that no matter who's on that part of the defense, mediocrity will not be tolerated across the board. I mean, what is kind of in the mentality for that Chris Parchers kind of brought in just with this defense, the position group, just to kind of go out every day, no matter which part is thin or not, just go out there and compete?
One thing he does talk about is violence. He likes violence. So, every time we step on the field, every time I step on the field, I feel like it's a reason for me to be violent. Playing with that chip on my shoulder and knowing that, it's people talking about, like linebackers, there is no room for like linebackers and stuff like that.